Hello guys, welcome. Let's say welcome. No, it's welcome actually. The show is hashtag right here on your favorite channel. My name is Vivian and I'm not flying this plane solo. I got my co-anchor here. He's Ikejiko. In a short while you're going to be seeing him. But guys, if this is your first time hopping on the show with us, accept a very, very warm welcome from us. On that note, hello sir.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
And good evening to our viewers.
Absolutely.
Very good in this block.
Yep, let's get the show on the road, guys. It is hashtag Datti Baba-Ahmed. So you do know Peter Obi's running mate in the 2023 general election. He's saying that there's been threats to his life. He even said that once upon a time, you guys heard of his strangulation of a politician in Lagos, that it was true, that it happened, it wasn't a lie, that he's not going to name names. He said he was also lured to a particular venue and that they were going to plant dollars on him in order to arrest him for some money laundering related cases or something. But he said 10 minutes to when this was going to happen, he got the info and he did not go. There was another instance again that he mentioned. He also talked about two politicians in Borno being gunned down. Just before the elections, they were aspirants. He said it happened, that they were not rumors. So he's saying that there's been threats to his life, but that he's not going to stop talking, that he's going to keep talking about the failures of this administration. He also called President Bola Tinubu a dictator, an authoritarian, and he said Nigerians must not keep shut. He also said something very catchy, that democracy has given the people the most power, that after the courts, the people ultimate. So this is how he put it, that the courts is the final bus stop, but the people, the ultimate. Right? So I'm going to take you to X in a short while. He said all of this in an interview not too long ago. So we'll go to X now. Parallel Facts got that gist, and there are reactions to this one. Parallel Facts says, exclusive Senator Datti Baba-Ahmed raises alarm over threats, urges Nigerians not to be intimidated by Tinubu's dictatorship. Right? Remember, they called him Senator Datti Baba-Ahmed. Some people are asking, Senator, was he? Yeah, he was. In 2011, he represented Kaduna North Senatorial District in the Senate. And I think from 2003 to 2007, thereabout, he was in the House of Representatives, also representing his people. Before we take a look at the reactions to Ikechukwu, what do you make of this? This is chilling, yeah?
Yeah. First, he called the president a dictator, yeah, an authoritarian. Well, I think is it last month or months before, there was a particular episode where I think one of the hashtag was, bordering on Bayonaniga saying that they're trying to sub the government, they're trying to it's a political coup or something. Use that word.
Like a regime change, sort of.
Yes, like a coup, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I said that day is when politicians speak, you listen to what they're not saying, right? It's actually saying that, you know what, this is not a democracy, because for you to use a coup, it means that it's not a democracy, right? I
remember you saying that.
Yes. Now, he's also saying this, that, this president is actually running the country like an authoritarian.
So do we want to qualify this? This is what he said. He said a dictator is someone who gets whatever he wants whenever he wants it. He now said President Tinubu, if there is anything he wants in Nigeria today, nothing on earth is going to stop him from getting it.
Okay, so to that extent, right, you might, it's very possible you get what you want anytime you want it and not be a dictator. It's all about
absolutely,
diplomacy. Yeah. It's all about diplomacy and how you go about it.
Yeah.
But from where he's standing, I understand where he's speaking from, because of course, like I try to use Bayonaniga's statement and what he's saying, right? That when a government sees himself like, this is not a democracy, when you use certain words in democratic terms, it means that you're actually not playing democratic. You're actually not playing the democratic field again. In your head, you're actually playing the authoritarian field, which means that it's actually not democracy. So what he's saying actually quite makes sense, because if a government can actually use such terms, it definitely means that they're actually operating in a different. Of course, if you marry that with what he's saying, that the president can actually get what he wants, looking at Bayonaniga, which means that the president actually is looking at actually coming back to the office, without an opposition. And of course, that's not a democracy too.
Yeah, but this is you just...
Yes, of course. I'm trying to actually
because
link all of the words together.
Yeah, absolutely. The president is supposed to be a Democrat, yeah?
It's supposed to be. That's
yeah,
I like the fact that you used that word.
Once upon a time, he championed, you know, the movement of democracy. What's it called? Nadeco, yeah.
See.
You know, he even housed exiles when he was abroad
housed exiles.
and all of that. You know, people fighting for democracy in the country.
The truth is...
That was then, though.
The truth is this, right? At that point, every other person that is not putting on the khaki is against the military. So whether you like it or not, whether your role is passive, whether your role is very active, you still, I mean, you're actually against democracy. In fact, there are people who actually, we're in the military at the point. People like Ibitu Ukiwe, the man who was the then number 2 behind Babangida, who actually, you know, went against certain orders that he actually gave. Right, he was actually against those sort of things. So anyone who stood against the regime at the point is very much, fighting against the regime. So definitely, if you play a passive role, an active role, it still means that you actually fought for democracy. So definitely, if you put him in that context that he fought, he actually championed. Yeah, I would definitely agree.
Your equation is interesting, though. But there are reactions to this particular hashtag. Let's take a look at it. Hashtag Datti Baba-Ahmed. Thank you, Director of Very Fast Fingers today. Generation Football says, Tinubu has hit a cul-de-sac. Benjamin says, Senator as how? A man that was sacked from the Senate because he rigged an election. I don't know if you want to pick up that point, Ikechukwu. Let's just let it slide. Peter Obi Lasbon says, we can't be intimidated. Never. Right? So that's how this particular one is. We'll wrap up this particular hashtag. Or do you want to talk about the reactions?
No, not really. But I think I'll rather talk about the last one who said we'll never be intimidated. I think it should go beyond words, because every single time this political class, this ruling class do something, people are actually saying we're not going to accept it. In fact, one of the major chants you hear during protests is, we no go agree, oh, we no go agree. But in the end, they end up agreeing. They end up actually either breaking their ranks and then let these guys infiltrate and then do whatever it is they want to do with them, or they get tired and then go back home. So it should be something when you set out for a goal, you should see it to the letter. This is exactly what the ruling class do.
Okay, we're talking about the ruling class and intimidation and all of that. It is interesting though. That former Vice President Atiku Abubakar put up a post today to say that it is an abuse of power for what has been done to Omoyele Sowore, who allegedly has had his arm broken in police custody and all of that. He's been coming at the IGP, and then he even said the IGP allegedly promoted his mistress and all of that. So Atiku called what's happening to Sowore misuse of power. Abuse of power. But you talked about intimidation and all of that, and Nigerians not really fighting for their right. Would you say Omoyele Sowore is an example of someone who is never intimidated?
100%.
Okay.
The problem here is, I think maybe the day there will be a hashtag that will be pointing towards the police. We really need to look into
at it, right?
our policing. But I'll just say this, right? So we get a base of what we're actually dealing with. The Nigerian police was actually not created to defend the people. So it's actually created to defend the colonialists, which is the elites today. It's different. And that's why before 1920...
We don't have any colonial masters in the country.
That's why I said colonialists, which is the elites today, the ruling class. So before 1920...
I can't reconcile you calling the elite the colonial masters. It doesn't.
Well,
but I think I know where you're going to.
At that point, they were actually the one ruling. So yes, that's what I meant.
Okay.
So before 1929, we had no incidents that, when I mean 1929, I'm talking about the about women, revolts. Before that time, we'd have no incidents of, the police clashing with the people at that point. No incident across the country. But something interesting happened after that point. Right? So what really happened was that... After
the about women rights?
Yes. What really happened was that, before that time, we used to have the 3 constabularies. We have the Kano Constabulary, which is more like the Northern Constabulary. We have the Calabar Constabulary. Of course, pre-colonial era, the Calabar was the first capital of Nigeria. And then we have the Lagos Constabulary. So what happened was, when these women started revolting, 7,000 across, the region. You know what it means to gather over 7,000 persons.
Big deal.
Yes, over 30,000 rather across that particular part of the country. No mobile phones, no internet. You should just put it in your head. You understand? So now they gathered. This Calabar Constabulary were there. They were trying to maintain order. They couldn't fire a shot. Why? They recognize their mothers, they recognize their aunties, they recognize people, the language. They can really understand why they were protesting. After the protests went on and on, courts were being burnt down by these women. It was so huge. What they did next was interesting. They decided to move in the Lagos Constabulary to Aba.
Who is the day now?
Yes, the British government at that point. They moved in the Lagos Constabulary into to quell the riot, and then asked the Calabar Constabulary to step forward. And they gunned down over 50 women. And the only person that died, his name is amongst the police men that actually came. His name is Ali Moshodu, right? So of course, very much. So
just one police person
officer
died.
And interesting,
but you had lots of fatalities on the other side.
It doesn't just stop there. Rape and so many things happen. Now, the British understood something, which they are very much implementing in their own part of the world. People from other part of the country cannot protect people from that. So they started doing the posting and moving. And that's why, if that protest had happened in a town like Lagos, and the policemen actually grew up where Omoyele actually grew up, nobody would have done anything to him.
Wow.
So they understood that, and that gave birth to, the police using all of this antics. They can bring a man in the remote village in Kano and make him, the DPO of your village. So
no emotional attachment, no
so
sentiment, nothing.
So just, once they say, do this, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah,
and that's why it's
I don't know if that's still the mentality.
It's still very much the mentality. Because
I think we should do a hashtag.
Maybe
on this. Because this is very interesting.
Yes, because it's a lot. I mean, it happened not just in the north, not just in the east. There are lots of massacres across the country, from the Baccalaureate massacre to different kind of massacre. Baccalaureate is actually in Sokoto, so it's not like it's in the east alone.
This is
serious.
This is an interesting walk down memory lane.
Yes.
We probably have to do a hashtag on that. Yeah.
No, certainly.
Good call, Ikechukwu. Now, the next hashtag is hashtag Nenadi Usman. You do know that she's one of the factional leaders of the Labour Party, right? So right now she's coming hard at Works Minister Dave Umahi, who said the Northeast should just chill, right? And just support President Bola Tinubu in 2027. That the Northeast is not yet ripe for presidency in 2027. So Nenadi Usman spoke through her spokesperson, Ken Asogwa, and she said, Dave Umahi, you should be ashamed of yourself. You shouldn't be even saying this at all. And then went on to say that in 2022, when he contested, for a ticket, in the APC, he wanted a ticket actually to become president because he said it was his turn of the Southeast to become president. So they're asking, what changed between 2022 and now? Why are you saying the Southeast is not ripe for presidency in 2027? So in a nutshell, that's the gist. So I'm just going to take you now into X so you have a feel of how this particular hashtag is going down. Power of facts again, Dave Umahi ought to be ashamed of himself for insisting Southeast not ripe for 2027 presidency. Nenadi Usman. Ikechukwu, you and I should have a go at this before we take a look at the reactions. Right?
Yeah.
You think she's too harsh?
Well, she's not too harsh, right? Okay. The only thing is...
you think Dave Umahi should be ashamed of himself?
No, I don't think so. He's a politician. Huh. And when politicians make statements, they actually make it because there's an interest attached to it. And what she's not seeing, or perhaps she chooses to ignore, or she's not aware of, is the fact that he's actually working for his own interest. If there's anything I know about this president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is that he keeps his word. Okay. Right.
He's a promise keeper.
He's a promise keeper, right? And either good or bad. If he says he's going to do this, he's going to do it. If he says he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it. I mean, he actually said before the election that he's going to, how did he use during campaign, right? He was like, if you don't vote for me, he's talking about the Southeast, that he's going to, you people are going to eat, bread soaked in water. And of course, I can tell you that's the reality of the entire country today. But why I'm actually saying this, that he keeps his word, is that perhaps there might be certain arrangements, right? After it's going to the north, and here know who Ribadu has been very close. Ribadu might be his candidate. He might decide to say, okay, it's son of the north. I'm supporting this guy, Ribadu. Don't worry, I'm going to back you for the south. You're going to get a go at this, and he might just give it to Ribadu. And when he's coming back to the south, he might be saying, you know what? If he's coming to the south, is Dave Umahi. Don't worry, I'm going to actually give you my word. And we might never might know. So there might be an arrangement behind closed door that is saying, you know what? You're a prime candidate when it's coming to the southeast. So perhaps that's why it's actually saying, you know what, we are not ready now. I mean, when we are ready, it's going to be me. And you know what? It's a politician.
Well, he didn't say when we are ready, it's going to be him. No, you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, but another thing he also said was that in 2023, the Southwest didn't vote for the president. But this time around, he should receive 95%, about that, 95% support so that, so much can. It's never going to happen.
Even if an Igbo man is not on this ballot. Right, in 2023. I'm saying if an Igbo man is not on the ballot, this president is never getting...
Yeshavada?
It's never getting 95%. 95% is...
Well,
it's not
but
it's never getting 50%.
The minister seems to think it's a possibility. It's why he's saying stuff like that. Yeah. But let's take a look at the reactions. Yeah, people are talking about this. Lots of chatter. Let's go back to X to see how this particular hashtag is going down. Ebubechi, yeah? Ebubechi S says, what do you expect from an employee? Mahi is simply echoing the script of his paymasters. A man who should be championing the cause of his region is busy gatekeeping their progress. Shameful doesn't even begin to cover it. Generation Football says, selfish people do not have shame. Let him win Ebonyi. He stayed for Tinubu. We want to see something. People that are deceiving Tinubu for larger grabbing. That seems to be some slang there. Usman 22 says, I don't want Obi to be president because he's an Igbo man. I want him as my president because he is competent, diligent, resourceful, compassionate, and prudent. I'm certain over 75% of Nigerians who want him as president identify with these values. Whoa, those are very positive adjectives he used to describe, that Usman used to describe Peter Obi and why he wants him to be president. Do you want to talk a little bit about this before we move on? Yes,
I mean, look at the guy who is saying, I mean, this generation football actually got me, smiling. Can he actually win Ebonyi State for Tinubu? It's not possible. So let's even begin with his home state.
His home state.
And he's been the best governor in that state ever since the state creation.
So he holds a lot of sway.
So he should hold a lot of sway. But he cannot, even himself, right? And Peter will be on the ballot on the presidential election. Peter will beat him in Ebonyi State.
Wow, you sound so confident.
See, so there's something when it comes to presidential election. There's a way the Igbo man actually think. If it comes to Ebonyi State election, Peter Obi and Umahi most likely win. When it comes to presidential election, I'll give an example. 2011 election that brought in 2015 election that brought in Buhari. When they went to Imo State, they were campaigning. Of course, the roachers of this world were actually very much in the corners of, and the conversation there with these people was like, okay, we want this man to actually, we want to win this state, and this is how, and the elders in that state say, you know what, yes, when it comes to the presidential election, right, we definitely want to give it to the PDP. I mean, Jonathan is going to win. But hey, when it comes to local election, Rocha Sokorocha is going to continue. Okay. So that's exactly how it plays. So it doesn't, if the president is coming in, I'm even saying this, that Peter Obi is not on the ballot now.
Yeah.
The Igbo man naturally don't want anything to do with the APC. That's where the problem starts. So it's not even about the person that is, it's about the party now. Okay. Right? If this president is even contesting, say, he's not been in the APC before, maybe he's in the PDP and is coming to contest.
It will be easier for him.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're saying it is easier for the PDP to receive 95% votes. And then
5% is a stretch, but to win the Southeast vote, yes, okay, I think that's better.
It's interesting that you brought us to this particular place, the PDP, and you also mentioned former President Goodluck Jonathan. It is actually the next hashtag. It is hashtag Good Luck Jonathan. I mean, this hashtag has been trending since yesterday, right? Yesterday it was the PDP wooing Jonathan, and today it is hashtag Good Luck Jonathan. It is all over social media, the Vanguard, as well as Trending Explained, as well as Instablog Niger, and all of that. Publications are going to be saying in a short while are saying Jonathan is set to come back, and they're saying it's a scoop that he told an ally that he's ready to come back. I remember Ikechukwu and I talked about this yesterday, and Ikechukwu said it would be a mistake. But there are divergent reactions to this particular hashtag. So let's go to X, take a look at these publications that are saying former President Goodluck Jonathan is ready to come back. So Trending Explained says, per reports, Goodluck Jonathan will be on the ballot in 2027. There's another one. Let's take a look at it. So Vanguard newspaper says 2027, Jonathan ready to run again, close ally confirms, right? So this is coming from former President Jonathan's close ally. There's another one. Let's take a look at it. So Instablog Niger says former President Goodluck Jonathan is preparing to contest the 2027 presidential election. A close ally within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has revealed. According to the source, the plan to draft the Bayelsa-born former leader back into the race is already well advanced, and Jonathan has agreed to run under the PDP platform. The move, the ally said, is being championed by influential politician figures and elder statesmen who believe Jonathan's return could help tackle rising poverty, economic hardship, and widespread suffering across the country. Supporters of the initiative argue that Jonathan brought stability and economic progress during his 6 years in office, and believe his return offers a chance to rescue Nigeria from its current challenges. They are also reportedly positioning his candidacy as a transitional option, since Jonathan can legally serve only one more 4-year term. This, they believe, would pave the way for power to return to the North in 2031, potentially allowing an uninterrupted 8-year Northern presidency. Let's take a look at the next tweet now. There are reactions to this one. So Soldier says, the power of regret. Why Nigerians now see Jonathan as the lesser pain. That's the title of his letter, and it's quite lengthy. He says, in politics, time reveals all. And in Nigeria, time has vindicated Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. A nation that once criticized him with venom is now haunted by regret. A country that once danced in the streets at his electoral defeat now whispers a different tune in marketplaces, churches, mosques, and mechanic shops. Quote, we didn't know what we had until it was gone, end of quote. And that powerful feeling, regret, could become the most potent political force in the 2027 elections. One, he says, 2015, a protest vote gone wrong. Let's tell ourselves the truth. In 2015, Nigerians didn't vote for Buhari, they voted against Jonathan. They were angry about, and he itemized it, fuel scarcity. Let's go to the next slide because it's a continuation. Power outages, Boko Haram, alleged corruption. But what came after? Fuel subsidy removal without palliatives. Record inflation, mass unemployment, bloodshed and banditry, and now under Tinubu, the Naira is on life support. So when Nigerians reflect, they realize Jonathan's weaknesses were managerial, not malicious. His flaws were human, not vindictive. 2, regret builds redemption. In politics, nothing is more powerful than a leader the people wronged and now want to redeem. Gosh, that's a lot. Now, there's another one that says, probably this is just chatter, Jari, that every election cycle, this is coming from Bayo. Bayo says, every election cycle, Jonathan's name is mentioned as a possible contender. The pics below are from 2023. It's happening again for 2027. I know it's just one of those mischievous rumors pushed by mediocre people, because why JEJ? Do these people suffer from amnesia? So this is just a lot. I'm telling you, no one's reactions to this. But note that it is an ally who is speaking for the president, the former president. He's not come out to say anything yet. But do you agree with Bayo, who says this is just talk?
This is true to an extent. The truth is the fact that he said every election cycle, and since he left, yes, his name comes up. But the other side of it, let's look at the other side of it. So Peter Obi has been making a remark one term, I'm going for one term. Amechi also said he's going for one term. And the North is looking at, you know what? You guys still have opportunity to go back. People can actually still say you should go back if you do very well. How certain are we that you will not go back when you hold power?
Yeah. This man will fit the bill.
And this man does not have any constitutional backing after one term.
Yeah.
So, politics and business. Now, a businessman will weigh his options and look at, which is the most viable possibility. This is the most viable possibility. And the way, the scale of preference. Okay, in this scale, do we really care about who's going to turn the country around? This guy did fairly well. And there's going to be certain emotion, emotional appeal, and the fact that this guy, Soul actually itemized it very well. Regret is going to be a weapon that they might use to actually placate Nigeria. So, okay, you guys have wronged him. I think this is time to actually pay him back. Let him do his 4 years and go. But the big question, why I said the other day that if he comes back, it's going to be a big mistake. I don't think he's got that big political capital in the South again. And that's where the problem is. Yes, the North might be willing to back him.
In the whole of the South, or you're talking about the South or the Southwest or the Southeast?
The South entirely.
Okay. Why do you say that?
The South entirely. Okay, before he left office, he's the biggest political figure in the South at the point, right? He can actually pick, certain states he's going to win because many of the governors were very much in the PDP at that point. So he's got the power at the center. He's got so many influence. The Southeast will always vote, in line with South-South. Now, we have two big political figures in the South. Tinubu's got his influence. He's the sitting president.
Absolutely.
And Peter Obi's got his influence in the South and the South-South. You can't take it out away. It's not going to disappear. So that's why I said it's going to be a big problem. So the only way it's going to happen is if Peter Obi decides, okay, I'm stepping back, I'm not going.
And do you even see that happen?
Again, you see, that's where the problem is. That's why I said it's going to be a big mistake. Yeah. I mean, he's done his bit. He's going back. Nigeria is sucking, the regret that, okay, we allowed him go. Let it just remain like that and let him just keep doing his work and just support someone else. Because
in fact, he's a revered elder statesman right now.
But if he comes back, he's going to actually put himself in a position where he's not supposed to be. Because if he ends up losing, that's going to be the end of anything. Because no one is going to even remember the fact that, he left on a very good note. He chose to actually, his famous quote, my ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. We mean nothing. Yeah,
but you say if he loses, but what if he wins? If
That's what I'm saying.
If he's got the backing of the North. Right? If he's got the backing of the North and maybe a part of the South. But come to think of it, though, would PDP would it do him justice? Running on the platform of the PDP. Would that help him or just really destroy his political career?
See, the thing is this, right? The calculation is simple. He needs somebody that is strong, like Peter Obi now. If Peter Obi steps aside and then Peter Obi's voter base decides to actually stick to him, that's an edge for him in the South. And then plus the backing.
And you and I already said we don't see that happening.
Yes.
Right?
So if that cannot happen, trust me, I don't think he's going to win. Because, see, if he steps into the ring and Peter Obi is running, he's running, right? There are certain quarters I will see his emergence as playing for the APC. Because trying to actually break Peter Obi's base.
I don't even see former President Goodluck Jonathan trying to contest, or compete with Peter Obi. Somehow I don't see it.
It's not comfortable.
I don't see it. The thing is, I don't even want us to drag this stool. This is trending online. That's why we're doing it on hashtag. I'm waiting for him to say stuff himself. Then we can really delve into it. Like, it's also good we put it out there that he's not officially resigned. Yes. He's not resigned from the PDP yet.
Yes.
He's a bona fide member of the PDP.
Well.
Yeah.
So it's also very important that Jonathan is is actually very slow to taking decisions. And I want to believe that he's actually looking at all of the possibilities.
Considering.
He wants to really know his chance before he's actually stepping in the ring.
Oh my God.
Because the thing is, he needs to actually sit down and have conversation around the people who really will determine, how this election is going to play out. If he sees that, these guys are still very much up and running, it's going to be a problem for me. Come on, it's better I just step back and then, continue my life as simple as I always.
And I'm thinking his wife, Patience Jonathan, would want to have a say in this if she would want for her husband to come back,
of course,
as president. But I think that's a safe place for us to wrap this particular hashtag. We'll move on to the next one, which is hashtag WAEC. WAEC is trending right now because there was massive failure and they just released examination results. And WAEC is saying it was due to technical glitches. Can you beat that? So people are saying like JAMB, like WAEC, you know, that's what's trending online right now. So I'll just take you to Trending Explained, which gives us, you know, an explanation of this particular hashtag. So Trending Explained says that like JAMB, WAEC admits to system glitch causing mass failure in English language, mathematics, economics, and biology, advises candidates to recheck results in 24 hours. This comes after WAEC boss claimed mass failure was due to efficient anti-malpractice measures. So the initial claim was the failure was due to efficient anti-malpractice measure, but they've done a 360 and they're saying it was due to technical glitches. There's another tweet. We have Obi Ezekwesili talking about education in Nigeria and the plight of students. So she says, she put up this post herself, and the video you're going to be watching in a short while, credit goes to her. She put it up herself. So Obi Ezekwesili says, I repeat that the foundational learning crisis in Africa deserves urgent action. Our children who are stuck in poor quality education starting from foundational levels will inherit a legacy of intergenerational poverty if we do not act swiftly as a continent. We must act. Take a listen.
Must be willing to adopt examples that work. And then we must be very ambitious about how far we can go, which is what that conversation about scale is all about. You know, people take pride in doing little pilots that show that a few urban schools in the city are now improving learning. That's not good enough. Every conversation about inequality on our continent is because, of course, naturally, the middle class of Africa sometimes don't see the rest of their country. We simply focus on the ones who've got the voice. But the ones who have the voice are too little. We need to run education for those that are voiceless. And you know that voicelessness comes with poverty. If we have a larger majority of our people poor, it means that they cannot affect the political incentives that drive the kinds of choices we're making. So I'm here to just sort of plead on behalf of our children that we can't at all be lethargic. We can't allow the year of education to be a normal year.
Her Obi Ezekwesili. There's something she said, I think just towards the beginning of her speech, that we must adopt new ways of sitting for examinations, right? She said a lot though. What struck you most?
Well, I mean, she needs no introduction in this field. This is a field. Yeah. I mean, she's been the Minister of Education under the former President Obasanjo. She understands the weight that comes with, you know, grooming children through the formative years. It's so sad that we've really regressed as a country in terms of education. But there's something we've not done very well. In fact, not just Nigeria now, across Africa. Let me even start from the fact that the CBT thing became an issue and all of that. For a country that an average citizen can barely afford to buy a mobile phone, talk more of a laptop, we don't have any business running CBT. I mean, how many government school have a computer lab where students can actually go do their stuff? How many? These are the questions. I mean, it doesn't just happen overnight.
That's a good point.
Because even if you're brilliant, right, you will struggle with the computer. Mm-hmm. And just one error, you don't even know how to go about it. And that is going to eat into your time. So all of these things, they should have actually really thought of it. But that's on the other side. Because now, let's look at why we are in this position. You see, there's something America did immediately they gained independence from the British. One of the few things they did, of course, because of time, one of the few things they did was actually to change the way they learn. They don't have to learn the British way. That's why you see their spellings, check, this, that. And you also notice that the British drive on the left, Nigerians drive on the left. America changed to the right. These are things, these are where...
This was a total shift. Paradigm shift.
Yes, mind shift. So we have to set ourselves in a place where we have to learn like Africans.
Yeah.
and then do things our own way, and we are going to come out on top.
I mean, I heard somebody say that in China, he head of a school that teaches physics in Chinese.
Exactly. So,
and you have students excelling.
Exactly.
Because they understand it.
See, if you look at their preschool, I have a senior a senior friend who actually schooling who actually I think he was a teacher in one of the elementary schools in China. He was teaching English then, so he came back talking about how they actually, you see the way they teach, you understand that they teach in line with what their culture permits, and it's easy for them to actually see. Many kids in the rural areas that cannot actually speak English can be very brilliant. Yes, if you put them through the process, they can actually learn and become smart. You see them, they'll do things and you'll be wondering. But the problem is we've actually streamlined our way of learning, like the foreigners, like the people who colonize. And it's a problem. And it's going to continue to be a problem until we sit down and rewrite our curriculum.
Absolutely.
So fit the way we
do away with the antiquated one. Yeah.
It's so sad.
So good. Ikechukwu, you nailed it. This particular one, awesome. Let's move on now to the next hashtag, which is hashtag congratulations. Still education related. So President Tinubu put out a statement through his spokesperson Bayo Onanuga to congratulate 3 ladies who have performed so well on the global stage. And guess what? They performed excellently well in the UK during a global competition. It was about English communication skills, and they came tops. Right? When I said Bayo Onanuga, Ikechukwu just bent over. Like, it looks like once you mention that name, it does something to him. I don't know. But let's take a look at the post now that Bayo Onanuga put up. He says, State House, President Tinubu congratulates 3 Nigerian students for excelling at global competition. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Nafisa Abdullahi Aminu, Rukaya Muhammad Fema, and Hadiza Kashim Kali on emerging world champions in English language communication skills. Whoa! And debate at the 2025 Teen Eagle Global Competition in London, United Kingdom. 17-year-old Nafisa was named the overall best in English language skills. 15-year-old Rukaya emerged as the overall best in debate, while Hadiza clinched the Outstanding Talent Award gold medal. President Tinubu commends these exceptional young Nigerians for the feat and affirms that the nation's future is much brighter with many of its youth as repositories of excellence. This is beautiful, Ikechukwu. And we're just talking about English and all, but there are some who are even doing very well. This is a global competition, yeah. I know. And the 3 Nigerian ladies excelled.
Well, I just hope they end up getting their own $100,000.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. There's no $100,000, and that's the center of the reaction. So let's go back to X. So you take a look at how Nigerians are reacting to this letter the president put out congratulating the ladies. So Atikun Sokoto says, all this cho with no tangible reward, no scholarship, no national honor, nothing. These girls made Nigeria proud on a global stage, yet all they get is congratulations from the State House. What's the use of commendation without compensation? Other countries would have handed out full scholarships, laptops, even cash awards. Encouragement is good, but real investment in talent is better. Eric Eze says, so Tinubu did not give her any house or money, just commendation. What a waste of governance space. How can value education when we don't even know his secondary school? Oh my gosh. You encourage sports but discourage education. Okay, so I mean, absolutely Nigerians aren't over the fact that the D Tigress and the Super Falcons were awarded national honors, houses and monies and all. Is it a crime to reward sportsmanship?
No, it's not a crime.
Yeah, so what's this about?
But the crime here is you've set precedents that you have to continue. I was one of those persons that was complaining about the cash reward, but it feels like, you know, this guy is a hater. But the truth is this: if you
why were you complaining?
My complaint is simple: build infrastructure so that you can actually get more people. No, see, Viv, let me tell you something. If we have good infrastructure and you decide to reward them, there will be no problem. I wouldn't have issues with it, right? Because now the infrastructure has actually, you know, brought out the best in that particular space, and you're rewarding them. It's good. It's fine. But you don't have it. Okay. Right? You don't have it. Just like someone who is homeless and then the first money you've got, you buy a car.
So in a nutshell, this is a case of the tail wagging the dog.
Exactly.
Instead of the dog wagging the tail.
So that's why.
So you say do first things first. So
that's why.
What's your final take on this?
That's why every excellence should be rewarded. Because now instead of building schools that will bring out another Nafisat, you have to give Nafisat $100,000 because you started it with the sport.
You know, when Bayo Nanuga was going to defend this thing about, rewarding the girls with monies, guess what he said? He used Bibi Niger as an example. Gosh, Nigerians just threw him under the bus on social media.
This is what,
no, because he said if Bibi Niger can give these people like 150 million naira, why are you guys crying that the president gave this?
So let him
so education must be rewarded as well.
Exactly. Give them national honor, give them their own $100,000. And then anybody...
So all the secondary schools in Nigeria that are going to be performing and doing well on the global stage must be giving this money.
$100,000. That's the trend.
You're even laughing.
I'm not laughing.
You're laughing.
This is
God. Okay, so this is where we get to wrap up this particular hashtag. Congratulations to the ladies. Well done. Last hashtag for today is Kwam1. Is Kwam1 here, left, center? I'm sure a show Ikechukwu produces issues with Jerry as the anchor actually talked about this. You had Dr. Nasike on that as well. Yeah, but let's take a look at how this particular one is going down on X. So I just take you to X so you take a look at it. It's a lot of drama, yeah. So Trending Explained says that K1, the ultimate is trending because Fuji icon Kwam1 was nearly decapitated at the airport when he bodily tried to block a ValueJet aircraft from taking off. Apparently, K1 was drinking something from a bottle which the flight attendants suspected to be alcohol, which was prohibited. They asked him to identify what he was drinking or submit a flask containing unidentified substance, violating protocols of Nigeria's National Civil Aviation Security Program and ICAO Annex 17, which said liquids exceeding 100 ml are not permitted unless medically necessary and properly declared. At this juncture, K1 claimed it was medically prescribed but had no proof. Security involved. As it escalated, the captain too got involved, but K1 only got more agitated and poured the drink on the airport officer and captain, allegedly. Turns out it was alcohol. So Aviation Minister Festus Keyamo has jumped on this matter. He put out a post. Let's take a look at it. The next post is going to be by Festus Keyamo, who says, the incident involving ValueJet and Kwam1. I have received reports from all the relevant aviation agencies regarding the altercation between the staff and crew of ValueJet and Kwam1 at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja on Tuesday, August 5, 2025. I've also received video footages of the incident. From all the details so far received, my preliminary impression is that it was obviously a case of temporary loss of sanity and control on both sides, which could have led to serious fatalities. Contrary to what the agents of Kwam1 has said, he constantly moved his position on the tarmac to actually block the aircraft from taxiing to take position on the runway for takeoff. This is totally unacceptable behavior. The issue of whether he was carrying water or alcohol is not even an issue at this point. It is the physical blockage of the aircraft from taxiing that is the reprehensible conduct here, which is akin to a hostage situation. The actual video footage showing this recalcitrant behavior is hereby attached. I have the video. You're going to be watching it in a short while. Festus Keyamo put it up. But there's a concluding part of this tweet. Let's take a look at it. On the other hand, no amount of provocation should make the captain and pilot of an aircraft begin to taxi without ensuring that the security personnel have safely moved an unruly passenger away that is standing in front of an aircraft. Both sides breached standard safety protocol as required by the International Civil Aviation Organization. So I have noted that the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has temporarily suspended the license of the captain and the pilot pending full investigation. I commend them for their proactive action. However, I have also questioned their sense of justice in only acting against one party and not the other party. What applies to the goose must also apply to the gander. That is one of the tenets of justice I have preached all my life. I will not sit idly by and allow this to pass. In the circumstances, I have also directed the NCAA to place Kwam 1 on a no-fly list pending further and full investigation. Just like the captain and pilot, all airlines, both domestic and international, should immediately be informed of this directive, and anyone who flouts this directive risks withdrawal of their operating license. So guys, let's quickly take a look at the footage that Festus Keyamo put up, shall we? Gosh. In Pidgin, they'll say the guy get liver. Gosh, I don't know. Was it what was in his drink, or was that really liver? Well, a couple of reactions I'd like for us to quickly take a look at them before we wrap this up. Just 2 reactions to this particular hashtag. Lots of them, but I picked 2. Like, can we go to X? Let's take a look at the reactions to this particular hashtag here. So, Olusegun says, a fair judgment, right? Fair judgment, if it is not just for the audience, because look at the video below, which says a lot about obstructing legal persecution of the individual. And then he says, he's replying to Oyindamola, you people really think this Kwam 1 won't fly in Nigeria anytime he wants. Person where they converse with Tinubu in this manner. So he put up this video of Kwam 1 conversing with Tinubu. I don't know, director, if we can take it. Yeah. Thank you.
All of us is along you. I show. Why am I meeting? Why am I meeting one alone? Amisa. Àmì àkànbí wọn náà pẹ́ fún mi. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ọlọ́run ní bí àjẹ́ o.
Àmì ìgbà tí wọ́n wà mẹ́ẹ̀ báwo ni ìyá ṣe máa jẹ mí? Bàbá mi ìwọ president, bàbá mi president, ìyá máa jẹ mí ní Nàìjíríà ilé ìkọ́. Ìṣe Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n mú dání.
Ìyá níjọba òkú ọ̀run.
No, ìyá níjọba òkú ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ níjọba aṣáájú náà. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Same trip back home, sir.
Ikechukwu, I wish we could talk about this, but we can't. But Kwam 1 and the president are like this, 5 and 6. So Nigerians are saying, you think this guy is going to be grounded? This is where we're going to wrap it up. Maximum respect to all those who contributed to making the show a success. Bigger thanks go to you guys for watching. Keep a date again with Ikechukwu and I for another edition of this. Until then, bye.